Hi fellow traders, I am making this video ahead of release of employment data from Australia. There is already a bullish setup on Australian dollar, and if the data will overall come positive, then we can enter buy position. The meaning of overall positive is comparison between actual release and revision. So wait for 3 to 5 minutes after release and compare actual and if there is any revision. And then if you find that the data is overall positive, comparing everything like comparing the number of jobs and then the unemployment rate versus revision in the number of jobs in previous, and if there is any revision in unemployment rate. So if you look at the previous video, you will understand how did I enter the position in sell position in NZD USD. You will understand how did I do with the comparison of the data, and finally how I decided. I had made the video right before the release of gross domestic product of New Zealand, and then I waited for the revision and then I entered sale. So watch this video, the previous video of NZD USD, and look for also read the text. You will understand. I have included this analysis in this video because I'm going to buy Australian dollar not only versus US dollar but also versus New Zealand dollar. So I will split my buy trade in two different trade, half risk in odd USD and half in odd NZD. So I'll share with you what is my plan. There is a butterfly under formation here, and 127.2% extension of this leg is 69.77.4, which is coinciding with 161.8% extension of this A, B, C, D. So there is mathematical harmony as well as there is harmony in the speed. If you look at the speed, like this was a movement of 3 days, this was a movement of almost like 3 days. So these two movements is pretty harmonic in terms of speed, and we'll measure the length. So to measure the length, I'll plot this trend based Fibonacci extension. So here we go. This stop was created at 100%, and this 161.8%, 127.2% is not very significant while measuring extensions. Nevertheless, this is significant while measuring the extension of butterfly, because there is no 100% in butterfly. Butterfly is either calculated as 127.2% of this or 161.8%. So I'm not considering 161.8% because this is too far, and no other ABCD is coinciding here. But what I was saying is 127.2 is not significant in ABCD extension, because here we take 100% as the main extension target and then 161.8%. So anyway, let me remove this to make the chart clutter free. Here we are coinciding. The previous one was the butterfly said 69.77.4, and this is saying 69.77. So I'll plot one to the left side for making it look clear. Just a sec, hold on. Okay, so something went wrong. No, nothing went wrong, all fine. Okay, so this is 69.74.6 and this is 69.77.4, pretty close to each other. There is a difference of only 3.2 pips. And there is another ABCD. If we consider this one, A, B, C, D. So if we look at this ABCD, this AB equals CD is coinciding at the same area. A, B, C, and then the D is coinciding, the 100%. A, B equal to CD, 69.77. So this is making a resistance cluster around 69.74.77. This is where we will put our take profit target if we get an opportunity to buy Australian dollar after the release of data today. So that's about the odd USD. And since I have already explained sell trade in New Zealand dollar, so we can buy odd versus New Zealand dollar. There is no upcoming data from neither from New Zealand nor from Australia until until 7:30 p.m. as per New York time on 7th January. That will be actually a new trading day of 8th January, because the day will already change at 5 p.m. New York time. So that is too far. Maybe we will have already finished our trade. We'll have already reached our targets in odd versus New Zealand, also in odd versus US dollar. So this is about the odd USD. Here we will calculate the SLTP and entry. Now price is around 68.53, and our plan is to wait for actual as well as wait for the revision. So we'll have we even if we get the entry, a chance of entry, we will get the chance of entry after 3 to 5 minutes, because even after release we'll have to wait for 3 to 5 minutes to see if there is any revision. So we may get a chance to enter maybe 20 or 25 pips above this point. If it will be very strong, price may go suddenly making a spike 50 pips above, 60 pips above, but there will be a retracement to the downside within minutes, and you can probably get a chance to buy around 68.75 or 68.80. Do not buy beyond 68.80, because your risk reward ratio will not be better. So let's take 68.80 as the final buy point. If we get a buy price below 68.80, that's very good. Otherwise, do not buy beyond 68.80. So if we compare the risk reward from 68.80, this is what we have on the table. 68.80 from here to this, 69.74.6, the minimum one. We'll have 95 pips on the reward side, and if we compare on the risk side from this area, and we'll place our stop loss below low of this candle. So something, this is going to be, sorry, this is plotted incorrectly. Let me do this again. From 68.80, 68.80. Okay. All right, 42 pips plus 2-3 extra pips, because we will not place our stop loss right at the low of this candle. Instead, we'll place our stop loss 2-3 pips below this. So we have very good risk reward ratio here, as long as we enter before 68.80. So I am preferring this risk reward, almost like 2 versus 1, 1:2 risk reward. So this is very good setup. And now it will be up to you. If you want to go for 1:1 or something like that, you can go, but this is my plan around to enter this. And we are now not sure what will happen with the data, so this entire thing will depend on the data. If there is negative data, then I'm not going to sell odd. I will simply stay out of this. I'll not sell odd. So because I'm here just making an agreement with the technical setup as well as the economic data. If both will say buy, then buy, otherwise no trade. What we have on FX, odd, NZD. So here we'll target 30% retracement of this downward movement. I always consider 30% as the significant retracement level and the minimum retracement level, because it is historical behavior of the market to make a retracement of 30%. So I take it into my account for consideration, despite this is not a typical Fibonacci level. If you look in the history, the previous movement from this top to this was precisely 30% retracement. So this is also validating my idea of taking 30% into account for considering targets or determining targets. So here we plot this Fibonacci from top to bottom, and then we calculate our target. The target will be 1.0515 and 6, 05156, and let me just vertically expand the chart for calculation of SL and TP. SL obviously will be below this point, below the spike created yesterday, and TP will be this one. And our entry, just like I've considered in the odd, if we get the news, then we compare the revision, and then by the time we enter, market will already have perhaps moved to the upside. So if we get to enter around, let's say 20-25 pips above this price, so for sake of convenient in calculation, let's consider this is 415 now, and 25 pips above is 440. So what we have on the table, if we compare the SL and TP from 440, let's check from 0440, we have around 78 pips on the reward side, and if we compare on the risk side from the same 440 area, 74.6. How much was it? 78. So this is giving 1:1 equal risk is to reward ratio. So 1:1 is also not bad. We can go for this trade. Why I'm suggesting this trade is the weakness of New Zealand dollar, followed by this followed by following analysis of New Zealand. So this can also be a good idea to buy Australian dollar against New Zealand dollar, not just AUD USD. So this is how we are diversifying our risk of the trade. We are not just trading against a single currency, because US dollar is going to be influenced by the movement in Euro USD as well as in Pound USD. So who knows what happens tomorrow? Maybe AUD USD will be influenced by the movement in Euro USD, or maybe the movement in GBP USD, and it happens. That's why, for example, if we go back and compare the movement of Euro USD, find the correlation between Euro USD and AUD USD, you will find there is a correlation, and a very good correlation. For example, let's see on the Euro USD, when price was moving down, AUD USD tried to go up but couldn't go. Let me just remove all the tools, and then it will be looking very clear. Okay, I'll have to manually do this because this is not clickable. Sorry. Alright, so if you look at the movement between this November 19 and November 29, Euro was going down, Euro created a new low. Australian dollar was strong. Australian dollar was trying to go up but couldn't go up. Australian dollar also stagnated gradually to the downside, although it didn't create very big low between this period, but it shows the influence of other pairs on AUD USD. This one, from here it was trying to go up, but when Euro was going down, it was also very slowly going down, although it didn't create very new low. If we compare this low and this low, there is merely a difference of 15 pips. Nevertheless, the point I'm trying to make is influence of dollar. Euro USD is the main factor behind USD index, so that will certainly affect AUD USD as well. Because if GBP USD and Euro USD will start going up from their recent downward fall, then AUD USD will also be not able to go to this point very fast. AUD USD will be maybe trying to go up, will struggle, fell. It will be stagnating here. So that's why diversification is a very good idea here, not to take the full risk in AUD USD and trade half in AUD USD and half in AUD versus New Zealand dollar. So that's all about this trade. Thank you for watching.